My loving students and my respected followers. I hope you are all good and you are following my class. Today, our topic of discussion is nothing but narration, and today we are going to see how narration, that is from active to from direct speech to indirect speech, in case of interrogative sentence, we can do. Isn't it? Today's topic is just like this, isn't it? Here you see I have written narration, and here you see I have written interrogative sentence. In my last two classes, I told there how assertive sentence is made when your sentence is assertive. That means when your direct speech, this is your direct speech, this is your direct speech. This is your direct speech, very well. The speech that set in between inverted commas, very well. This is your direct speech, isn't it? When your direct speech is assertive, how you can transform from direct speech to indirect speech, that is called narration. In my last two classes, I showed you very clearly, isn't it? And so many cases I also discussed there when verb would be changed, when verb of your direct speech would be changed according to a reporting verb. This is your reporting verb, as you know from my last class, isn't it? Yes, this is your reporting verb, right? Clear? So all these things about assertive sentence, I already clearly defined in my last two classes, isn't it? Today our topic is interrogative sentence. When you get interrogative sentence as your direct speech, then how you can apply all the rules. This is very important, isn't it? Now you follow. Rita said to me. This is reporting verb and this is your past form. And as you know very well, if reporting verb is past, what sort of change in your verb can be made, you know very well from my last classes, isn't it? Now you see, this is your helping verb. As you know, to get interrogative sentence, the sentence pattern, helping verb, subject, clear, and main verb. Clear? This is your pattern of interrogative sentence, isn't it? How interrogative sentence is made in my early classes, if you follow, then you can know very well that how an interrogative sentence can be made just following this structure of interrogative sentence. This is your helping verb, this is your subject, and this is your main verb. If you get in this way any structure, then you can easily know this sentence is interrogative one. Okay, very clear. Now you see, if your direct speech is interrogative sentence, then how you can convert your direct speech into indirect, isn't it? That is narration. uh, just you follow, I am doing. Okay, now you see Rita. Clear? Rita. When you get interrogative sentence, then you can set here in place of your said, in place of your said to. In case of assertive sentence, we write here in place of said to, told. But in this case, you have to write asked, or wanted to know from, or inquired of, isn't it? All these things you can use, either asked, or wanted to know from, or inquired of. Anyone you can use here, no problem. Rita asked. Now the question to set your linker. Rita asked me. Okay? Rita asked me. Clear? Now you have to set your linker. In case of assertive sentence, you have seen in my last two classes, as linker I write here that. But when interrogative sentence, then your linker would be different. If your interrogative sentence begins with helping verb like this, do, with any helping verb, and who are helping verb, isn't it? I have already clearly defined in my early classes. From there you can know the chart of helping verb, isn't it? So if you see your interrogative sentence begins with helping verb like this, isn't it? Then your linker would be if or whether. If or whether. Anyone you can use as your linker in place of that when your interrogative sentence begins with helping verb, isn't it? Perhaps you know, understand. Now you write, in my last two classes there I discussed about narration. I told you whatever sentence pattern you get in your direct speech, if it is assertive then you have to do assertive. If this is interrogative then you make it assertive when you do indirect speech. If you get exclamatory, then you have to do that into your assertive sentence when you do indirect speech. So every kind of sentence what we get in our direct speech, we have to make that sentence into assertive sentence, isn't it? This is very important to remember. Now you see, you have set linker if or whether, then you have to make it assertive, isn't it? Now you see, for assertive what you know, assertive we know subject plus V plus object. This is the assertive form, mind it, subject plus verb plus object. If you get this structure, then you can know that your sentence is assertive. So you have to make this interrogative sentence in this structure, in this form, to get assertive sentence. Okay, now you see, this is your subject, you. Okay, then this subject you have to set here to get assertive sentence. First, you. Who is you here? You see, Rita said to me, do you, that means you implies me. So you have to write, in place of me you have to write I, as you know, I, isn't it? I. In place of you, your subject is now I. Now you set your verb, isn't it? As you know, to get assertive sentence, at first you write subject, then your verb. Now you see, there is one helping verb and there is one main verb. As you know, do plus do equal to do. This is your helping verb, this is your main verb, and this is your main verb, isn't it? Why I have written this thing? In my previous classes you must have seen that how we can get a helping verb from a main verb, isn't it? Suppose this is your main verb, but you need helping verb to make interrogative sentence or to make a negative sentence. Then how can get from this main verb your required helping verb, isn't it? That time what we do, we know this is your V1. Any V1 verb, if you break it into helping and main, then always your helping verb you get to do, and main verb, the main, that is V1, main verb would be V1 of the verb given here, isn't it? So if you like to go back to your main verb, isn't it, then do plus do, that is do. Again I am showing you another verb. Suppose there is verb make and you know this is V1. If you like to have any helping verb from this verb, you know when you do not get helping verb in your sentence, but you need helping verb for making your interrogative sentence or negative sentence. In my previous classes I clearly defined there, you must have seen, isn't it? Now you see, you break it. This is your V1. Any V1 verb, if you break it, then you always get your helping verb do. And what is your main verb? The V1 of this given verb. মেকের ভি ভার্ব কি আছে? মেকই আছে। তাহলে এখানে আমরা কি বসিয়ে দিচ্ছি? মেক। তাহলে এখন দেখো, এটা তোমার মেন ভার্ব, তাহলে হেল্পিং ভার্ব আর মেন ভার্ব এই দুইটাকে যদি মিশিয়ে দাও তাহলে এটা পেয়ে যাবে। দিস ইজ হাউ আই ক্যান গেট this one. You follow, isn't it? I do আর do মিলে কি হয়? Do হয়, কিন্তু এটা আমাদের পাস্ট আছে। দিস ইজ আমাদের পাস্ট। রিপোর্টিং ভার্ব পাস্ট হলে মেন ভার্ব কি হয়ে যাবে? পাস্ট হয়ে যাবে। তাহলে এটা আমি যদি লিখি তাহলে এটা আমার V1 হয়। আমাদের পাস্ট লাগবে, V1 থাকলে কি হবে? V2 হবে। ইন মাই চেঞ্জিং ভার্ব চার্ট I already gave you in my first class on narration, isn't it? From there you follow it, isn't it? So দুটা তখন আমার কি হয়ে যাচ্ছে? আমার ডিড হয়ে যাচ্ছে। ক্লিয়ার? তাহলে দেখো, I do আর do মিলে do হয়, কিন্তু I need past form of do verb, that is did. This is your V2. ক্লিয়ার? V1 থাকলে V2 করে দিতে হবে যদি আমার রিপোর্টিং ভার্ব পাস্ট থাকে। I suppose this thing got clear to you. I did. Okay? Other thing you said, there is nothing else. You got your subject as you are trying to have assertive sentence, because the rule is that in your indirect speech you have to get always assertive sentence. Okay? This is your verb. I did. Other thing you said, object, morning, morning walk. Okay, this is your full stop. Don't say interrogative sign again, because you have already made assertive sentence, isn't it? Now you see number 2. She said to her mother, are you reading newspaper? Now you follow. This is your past tense, V2. Clear? Now what you write here? She wanted to know from. Okay? You can say set here, just asked in place of said to. Wanted to know from, you can use. Inquired of, you can write, isn't it? She wanted to know from her mother. Her mother. Okay? Now you see, your interrogative sentence begins with your helping verb. This is your helping verb. Clear? Helping verb. Mind it. This is your helping verb. If your interrogative sentence begins with helping verb, you know very well from here your linker would be if or whether. I write if here. Okay? Now you have to make it assertive sentence. Okay? Now who is you here? This is your subject. Mind it. This is your subject. And this subject you have to set first to get assertive sentence. Now who is you here? She said to her mother, you. That means her mother, you implies her mother. Now you write her mother. Clear? Now you said verb. This is your subject. You have already got subject. Mind it? Now you have to set your verb. Then when your said to পাস্ট আছে ভার্ব, এটা পাস্ট থাকলে কি হবে? তুমি যে ভার্ব বসাবো সেটা পাস্ট করে নিয়ে বসাতে হবে। তাহলে আর এর পাস্ট কি হয়ে যাবে? হার মাদারের ক্ষেত্রে কি হয়ে যাবে? ওয়াজ হয়ে যাবে। তাহলে ইফ হার মাদার ওয়াজ, বাকি জিনিস বসিয়ে দাও। রিডিং reading newspaper. Okay, now you see, she wanted to know from her mother if her mother was reading newspaper. In place of her mother, you can use she also. That is, in place of her mother, you can write she. Why? She wanted to know from her mother. You have already written here যে সে কার থেকে জানতে চাচ্ছে, তার মাদারের কাছ থেকে জানতে চাচ্ছে। ন্যাচারালি ইন প্লেস অফ হার মাদার ইউ ক্যান রাইট she also, no problem, isn't it? If I write she here, now you see the sentence. If she, okay, if she was reading newspaper, full stop. Okay, now you see, she wanted to know from her mother if she was reading newspaper, isn't it? একটা জিনিস মনে রাখো, এই যে আমরা ইফ অথবা ওয়েদার পাচ্ছি, এদের বাংলা মানে কি আছে জানো? এদের বাংলা মানে আছে কিনা। খুব ইম্পর্টেন্ট, বাংলা মানে এদের কি আছে? কি না। খেয়েছো কিনা, গিয়েছো কিনা, ওকে, কি না। খেয়েছো কিনা, গিয়েছো কিনা, রেখেছো কিনা। In these senses we use if বা whether as our linker, isn't it? Now you see, he said to his friend, when will you come? Now you see, this is your past form, this is your past form, okay, that is V2. Now you see, this is your WH. That means this interrogative sentence begins with WH when. This is your helping verb, mind it. This is your subject and this is your main verb. Clear? Now you see, you have got interrogative sentence in your direct speech and your interrogative sentence begins with WH. Very good. Now you write, he asked his friend. Okay, now the question to set your linker. When your sentence begins with helping verb, then you generally use either if or whether as your linker. When your interrogative sentence begins with WH, then that given WH would be your linker, that is when, mind it. If your interrogative sentence begins with WH, that WH will be, that is, that interrogative pronoun will be your linker, isn't it? Now again follow the same pattern, because this part is in interrogative sentence structure. You have to make it assertive. As I have already told you, whatever sentence pattern we get in our direct speech, we have to make it assertive one. So to make assertive one, how you can do it? At first you set subject, then you set verb. This much you have to do. Now this is your subject. Who is you here? দেখো ইউ সমান সমান এখানে কে বলছে, হি সেড টু হিজ ফ্রেন্ড, সে বলেছিল তার বন্ধুকে, কখন তুমি, তাহলে ইউ সমান সমান কে আসছে? তার বন্ধু আসছে, তাই না? তাহলে ইউ সমান সমান তার বন্ধু। তাহলে হি আস্কড হিজ ফ্রেন্ড, সে তার বন্ধুকে বলেছিল হোয়েন, এবার আমার হিজ ফ্রেন্ড ইউ, তার মানে হি হয়ে যাবে, তাই না? হি। নাও ইউ নো ভেরি ওয়েল, when your reporting verb is past, then your verb is past, then the past form of will, would. Clear? When he would come. Clear? Full stop. He asked his friend when he would come. How you got would? As you know, your reporting verb is past. So this verb, whatever verb structure as per tense you get, you have to change it. If it is future, then you have to make it past. If it is present, then you have to make it past. Isn't it? As I told in my early two classes. Now you see here, I said here you write to my sister. I said to my sister, how much water do you take every day? You see this sentence seriously. Okay, now you see, I said to my sister, this is my, okay, this is my. I said to my sister. I said to my sister, how much water do you take every day? Now you see, this is your V2. That means reporting verb is past. So whatever verb you get, you have to change it. If it is present, then you have to make past. If it is future, then you have to make past. Isn't it? Now you see, I asked my sister. Now you have to set your linker. You know, this is your helping verb, mind it. This is your subject and this is your main verb. Okay, now you see, what would be your linker? This is now question. I have already told you, if your interrogative sentence begins with WH, তোমাদের ইন্টারোগেটিভ সেন্টেন্সটা, প্রশ্নবোধক সেন্টেন্সটা যদি দেখো যে ইন্টারোগেটিভ প্রোনাউন অর্থাৎ WH ইন্টারোগেটিভ প্রোনাউন দিয়ে শুরু হচ্ছে, তাহলে ইন্টারোগেটিভ প্রোনাউনটাই লিঙ্কার হয়ে যাবে। তাহলে এইখানটায় আমার ইন্টারোগেটিভ প্রোনাউন কত দূর যাবে? এত দূর যাবে, মাইন্ড ইট। হাউ মাচ ওয়াটার, up to this. If you said only how, then you cannot make it correct, because this is the structure of your interrogative sentence. So before the helping verb, whatever you get would be your part of WH, part of interrogative pronoun. বলছি যে হেল্পিং ভার্বটা যে ডু, তার আগে তুমি যত বড় অংশ পাবা, সম্পূর্ণ অংশটাই কিন্তু এই WH এর পার্ট, দ্যাট ইজ তোমার ইন্টারোগেটিভ প্রোনাউনটার পার্ট। যদি শুধু হাউ থাকতো, যদি এখানে হোয়াট থাকতো, তাহলে হোয়াটটাই বসে যেত। এখানে যত হেল্পিং ভার্বের আগে যতটা তোমার থাকবে, ততটাই কিন্তু তোমার লিঙ্কার হিসাবে চলে আসবে, মাইন্ড ইট, ভেরি ইম্পর্টেন্ট পার্ট। হাউ মাচ ওয়াটার, ওয়াটার হয়ে গেল। এইটা সম্পূর্ণটা তোমার লিঙ্কারের কাজ করবে, মাইন্ড ইট, সম্পূর্ণটা তোমার লিঙ্কারের কাজ করবে। ইজন্ট ইট? এখন তোমার এই জায়গাটাকে অ্যাসার্টিভ করতে হবে, মাইন্ড ইট। অ্যাসার্টিভ করতে গেলে আমরা কি জানি, আমাকে সাবজেক্ট বসাতে হবে ইউ কে। আই সেড টু মাই সিস্টার, তার মানে মাই সিস্টার হচ্ছে ইউ, তার মানে হয়ে যাবে শি। ক্লিয়ার? এবার দেখো, যেহেতু আমার রিপোর্টিং ভার্ব পাস্ট আছে, তাহলে আমার এখন যে ভার্বটা বসবে, তার মানে আমার এই জায়গাটা খেয়াল করো, ডু প্লাস টেক আছে, ডু প্লাস টেক আছে, ডু হেল্পিং ভার্ব আর মেন ভার্ব আছে টেক। তাহলে ডু প্লাস টেক সমান সমান আমার কি বসা উচিত? টেক বসা উচিত। ইজন্ট ইট? তাহলে এইখানে যদি আমার পাস্ট হয়, রিপোর্টিং ভার্ব পাস্ট, তাহলে তো আমার এইটা আমার কি হয়ে যাবে? পাস্ট ফর্ম হয়ে যাবে টুক, যেহেতু আমার রিপোর্টিং ভার্বটা পাস্ট আছে। বাট ইউ হ্যাভ টু ফলো দ্য মিনিং অফ দি সেন্টেন্স। এই সেন্টেন্সটা কিন্তু অভ্যাসগত, দ্যাট ইজ হ্যাবিচুয়াল ট্রুথ। এটা কি বলছে? আই সেড টু মাই সিস্টার, আমি আমার বোনকে বলেছিলাম, হাউ মাচ ওয়াটার ডু ইউ টেক এভরি ডে, কতটা জল তুমি প্রতিদিন খাও। তাহলে এটা হ্যাবিচুয়াল ট্রুথ। এখানে কিন্তু রিপোর্টিং ভার্ব পাস্ট হলেও এখানটায় কিন্তু ভার্বের পরিবর্তন হবে না, এটা যে ভার্ব আছে সে ভার্বেই থাকবে। ইন মাই লাস্ট টু ক্লাসেস I already clearly discussed there this type of meaning sentence, isn't it? Now you do not need to change the verb. That means you have to write take. So water, she, now you see take. Okay, now you know very well this is your third person singular number. So and you are not changing the verb. So for third person singular you have to set here is. Clear? Then how much water she takes every day. Very important. Every day. Clear? Now you see what the themes we actually follow here to convert this type of direct speech into indirect speech. First one, you see the sentence is habitual truth, and you know very well that in case of habitual truth or universal truth, if your reporting verb is past, then this verb will not be changed. You know very well. If this is so, then do plus take means take. This is your V1. Very good. Now you have to set unchanged verb V1, but your subject is third person singular. That means you have to write here takes. This much you have to remember. Okay? So on interrogative sentence, and when reporting verb is past, then how you can do all this type of direct speech into indirect speech in case of interrogative sentence. When your interrogative sentence begins with helping verb, then your linker would be if or whether. If your interrogative sentence begins with WH, then that WH would be your linker. Then you have to make the interrogative sentence structure into your assertive sentence structure. As you know, when we come from direct speech to indirect speech, in indirect speech we cannot keep other sentences structure rather than assertive sentence. মানে আমরা যখন ডাইরেক্ট স্পিচ থেকে ইনডাইরেক্ট স্পিচে আসবো, আমাদের মনে রাখতে হবে ইনডাইরেক্ট স্পিচে সব সময় আমাদেরকে অ্যাসার্টিভ সেন্টেন্স প্যাটার্নটাকেই রাখতে হবে, দ্যাট ইজ সাবজেক্ট ভার্ব অবজেক্ট। ওকে, অল দিস থিংস আই হ্যাভ ডান in my today's class. I suppose the matter got clear to you. If you have any problem, any question, you put in your comment box, and I will be there to answer you, isn't it? And you feel free to ask me anything. If you like to know any other thing in your grammar part, I am available to give you answer, of course, in my class, isn't it? Thank you so much to be with me for following my class. Have a good day.